All right, everybody wanted to go through and I had this idea of just buying cases of Black Series or Star Wars, or whatever, shoving them in a closet, and then digging them out a few years later and selling them, and not necessarily scalping off the shelves or anything like that, but ordering through Entertainment Earth or any other pre-order big website like that. But then I figured, well, I should probably do the math and see if it's a viable investment, and what that would look like. So um, first things I need to talk about going through this spreadsheet is we're going to only look today at standard release figures, no exclusives, no vehicles or anything like that. Um, let me tell you where all the data is from, so you can look into this on your own or do what you choose. So this is a website called 411 or actionfigure411.com. Star Wars Black Series price guide. It works pretty well. It'll show you all the information we need. Basically, what I'm going off of completely is the average column here. Um, that way, it takes into account high and low sales and just, what an average is. I don't know why I'm explaining that. We're looking at the Orange Wave, Blue Wave, Force Awakens Wave. I did stop when we got to, I guess it's called the Galaxy line, never knew that. Or at least that's what they're calling it. This stuff is just too new. So a lot of these things are high right now. They're going to come down. A lot of them are, might go up in the future. Mostly, spoiler alert, they're all going to go down for the most part. So, uh, so when you're talking about is it a good investment, you have to have something to compare it against. So what I did for that is we're comparing it against the S&P 500. So if you would have put the amount of the price of the figure, which in this case we're using 21 uh, 63 as the price of a figure, which would be the figure plus tax. Obviously, it doesn't include any shipping, so this is assuming you're getting for retail, free shipping, or just off of a retail shelf. Each figure set was used starting year to now, or starting year when the figure came out till now. We did that, so those numbers already did. So, for example, in 2013, if you would have put $21, which is right here, in the S&P 500, which you can buy in an index fund, and I'll probably talk about that a little bit at the end. Um, Today it'd be worth 62.50, which that should be a dollar sign there. So if you were to take that original figure amount, $21.64, put it in the S&P 500, then it would now be worth 62.50. So this column here we have the average sold price that we got from our action figure 411. The price change, so basically just average sold minus your cost, which is a consistent 21.64 in this case, equals this. So that's how much more it's worth. Since this number here, the average hold, is all based off of eBay, we're assuming you're going to sell it on eBay. eBay does have fees, so right here, this is constant column of just that S&P number. So after eBay fees, how much you can expect to receive after you sell it on eBay, which is around 12 to 13%. As also assumes that the buyer paid for shipping and you didn't do free shipping or anything like that. But this gives us a rough idea what it's worth. So what we've got, kind of the way I broke this down. In the bigger waves, I sorted it a little bit differently. These are just in numerical order of the order they came out in. So I just kind of want to talk about a couple things here. Red means you were nowhere close to that 62.50 mark of what an actual stock investment would have brought. Yellow means you were pretty close, or you weren't blown out of the water. And green was you actually outpaced. So what you can see is exactly two figures still outpaced that. That number would have been a lot more if these reissues over here didn't exist. So the 40th editions and the archive series definitely brought those down, which is good on Hasbro's part for sure to get these figures back out there into people's hands for cheaper than the current marketplaces when they decide to do those, as well as take some old molds, make some more money. It works for everybody, I guess. So as you can see here, not good. Two figures outpaced it, the 40th R2 and the Anakin, and 5 did okay. Sleeper on this one though, I would say Slave Leia. Like if you wanted to go back and find ones there's value in, they're not going to reissue Slave Leia. We know that, they've said that. So that would be a good one to pick up. But Sand Trooper, Maul, actually I think this got archived. This is not mentioned here. Fett, Greedo, all have some sorts of reissues. So they could potentially go down in the future. So the average of all of those was 46.18. S&P 500, not a good investment, right? You're 30% behind where you should have been if you would have just put it in the S&P 500. The next wave, the blue boxes, these guys here. A little bit better than up here, and I think the major reason why is there's not a lot of reissues here. By we I mean me, I forgot. So obviously the reason that the S&P 500 value is a little bit lower here is because it's a little bit less time for it to have accumulated to do some money. So let's just find the average of these real quick because I forgot to do that. So the average of everything here is 36.19 versus a sold value of that of $53. So basically with that, still much better off having invested in the S&P 500. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on here. So this Vader was in that 40th reissue stand, which got super clearanced out, so that's probably what hurt that. Yoda reissued. TIE Pilot, not reissued. Chewbacca, there's a lot of variants of, so not too crazy. The ones that kind of really stand out here are Bossk and Palpatine, and Commander Cody. Clones usually do really well in Bosch Leia. You can see, you actually straight up lost money on these four. So I mean, you literally didn't even break even with what you paid for it, and you sat on it for 6 or 7 years. Oh Lord, welcome to the red zone. This is the Force Awakens red boxes, 2015 to 2018. I did I think I did like mid 2016 as the average since it did run for 3 years or 4 years. So that would have brought your S&P value $47 if you would have done that instead of spending $21 on a figure. And boy, oh boy, all of these you've lost half your investment on. I'm actually surprised Rose isn't the worst. It's Finn. Not good. Big thing you're going to see most in common with most of these, as they're almost all sequel figures, sequel trilogy figures, and they're almost all. Actually, I think they all are. I don't see anything that's not. I guess Luke Yavin would be a not sequel era. And then look at how far we have to scroll through. And I sorted this one by what they actually sold by instead of the number, just because it was way too time consuming to have left them in order. Until you get down to here, we started to get into some of the. I mean, still a lot of sequel trilogy stuff, but a lot more OT kind of trickled in. First editions trickled in. And then look at that. So how many figures is that until you break even? Ooh. I don't care about the sum. I care about how many things are there. 112. You have to go through 112 figures until you actually come close to pacing the. Well, actually, no. Those would be. Here's where you come close. So these are like the close to meeting that investment mark. Well, not close. It's just you didn't lose money. That's what I'm trying to say here. Yellow is you didn't lose money. Green, there's a few that definitely would have made some money. Most notably, The Mandalorian and Captain Rex. Captain Rex is getting a reissue right now. I linked him out on my Twitter. So that price is going to plummet once those ship. Cara Dune, obviously that's a very unique circumstance in Star Wars collecting. Afro 000, both. I guess EU, not EU, but other media. Same thing, Darth Revan, Cal. So a lot of the ones there are just figures probably we're not going to see again, at least anytime soon. So let's see what the average was. Average for all those. Oh, that's yeah. Oh, that's what I wanted. Is 22.97. So if you would have bought every single one and sold them again, you would have yeah, not done well. You would have made $1 per figure on average. Most having been huge losses, a couple okay little hits, and then basically 3 figures that carried the load. One of which will fall in value quite a bit. That the Captain Rex. Um, but even think about it this way, like if you, what's it, 112 I think is how many are in there. So it's $2,500 investment. Or no, that's how much you would have made. So it would have been equals 12 times 2160. So you'd have had to put in 24. Yeah, like just like you could have just gone and stocked the shelves at Target for an 8-hour shift and made more than you would have. Think about all the time and effort to list and sell and find and all those figures. So it's like absolutely not worth the time or money to invest in Black Series. Um, I went into this unbiased. I was not sure how it would go, how it would trend. I thought it was going to honestly be better. That's obviously why I looked into it. I'll do a video in the future if this one does anywhere near well as far as that goes. Vintage collection. I have some of the data pulled for. Those are the new ones we weren't going to do because they're just too new. 40th anniversary, all the exclusives, and the deluxe sets. So maybe I'll go through and do those if there's well received. I just don't want this to be rambling on for too long. But bottom line is S&P 500. If you would have just bought an index fund, you would have made quite a bit much more money. Let's see, S&P 500 index fund, and you can see best S&P. I'm just obligatory. I'm not a financial consultant, so don't listen to me. I do own VOO and SPY. Those are the two that I would recommend going with. But if you're interested, I'll put the links down below for both E-Trade and Robinhood. Those are the two trading accounts I use. So long story short, instead of if you buy figures if you want to, they're fun. Collect whatever makes you happy. I still do and will continue to do so. But if you're trying to do it for financial gain, sign up through one of those two referral links I got down there. Go in there, type in VOO, buy that, and wait, and then you'll make more money on your returns than Black Series. All right, thanks guys.